Hello, hello, hello,
Hey.
and welcome to a drastic change in the lineup for Descythered Podcast, episode 36. I am joined by Jim, Lucas,
Hello.
for a special wrestling edition of Descythered. So to quickly cap everything off to why Rob's not here is, as mentioned before, he's still ill and going through some, illness really, puking a lot. So we didn't want to puke in the podcast, so we have Jim here to take over from his spot. Welcome.
How you doing?
Good, you living the
Thanks for
dream?
having me. Yeah, man.
Cool, man.
It's fun.
Right, so yes, off the cuff, so everything that we had planned for this week, so the most controversial album covers of all time and the review of The Ranch will be
that
next
would be
week.
good.
Yeah, it's going to be the episode next week. So yeah, if Rob's better for next week, then that's what's going to happen. If he's not better for next week, then
Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah. Okay.
then we will figure out something else out.
Love
So
that.
this podcast is all written literally today, so bear with us, but you're going to fucking love it, because I'm telling you. So first off, with a bit of news, DX have been announced
Yes, DX.
for the Hall of Fame. So it's the total lot of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, and China.
And China. That's
Yeah.
the interesting part about this.
It
Isn't
is.
And China. That's. How do you feel about it?
I think it's great. I'm really happy about it, but I am pissed. Like she deserves her own spot.
Well, that's what I mean. It does feel like a cheap way of sneaking China back in there, like in the same way as the whole. It's the equivalent of the Hulk Hogan reintroduction in Saudi Arabia thing, and then
Yeah, that was big.
almost some would even argue capitalizing on Mean Gene Okerlund's death in the
Yes,
same way,
right, yeah.
which I know is a very, very divisive issue and
Like
everything, but
what he did was unexcusable for Hulk Hogan, but I get the Mean Gene thing because they were really close. So I feel like it's not fair to keep him off TV because of that.
No, yeah, that is it, isn't it? I get that more than I get most of it, but yeah.
The Saudi Arabia thing was really shit. It's pain to get him back.
I did love Shane McMahon, the best in the world, I think.
Yeah.
I still love that now.
So many people are fucking pissed about that, but love it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's an entirely different topic. So where we were,
Yes, DX
in China, yeah. I'd say that's the cheapest move they've made since the Hulk Hogan Saudi Arabia stunt.
Hopefully, I've seen a link. I haven't read the interview, but apparently Triple H has said he believes China deserves her individual slot as well.
Well, that's nice, but it's
It's not what they got.
Yeah, it could have been the other way around. Would have been more tactful, but it's a hot issue, isn't it? There's a lot of pros, a lot of cons there. Like I think they knew they were going to have to do it at some point.
I think on top of China, obviously her posthumously, but I'm super happy for X-Pac because he's one of my favourite wrestlers. I really enjoyed him back in the day.
He's not in it yet, is then?
Yeah, he's part of it as well.
I mean, of course he's in this, but is he not in it already?
No,
is he not?
No,
well,
he's
yeah,
not.
I guess inevitably he would have to be in it, wouldn't he? Really?
Yeah.
More, I hate to say more than the New Age Outlaws, but
Do you think more than the New Age Outlaws?
wait,
X-Pac.
New Age Outlaws? Am I talking about Billy Gunn and
Road
Dogg Day? Yeah, yeah, man, X-Pac. I loved X-Pac.
Yeah, he was so good.
I still love X-Pac.
Another interesting part about it is obviously Billy Gunn, who is a producer for AEW.
Yes,
He's been put in. I guess if he was a wrestler for AEW, it might be different, but as a producer, it's not so bad.
Yeah, well, I think they'll probably try and minimise that, won't they?
Yeah, definitely.
It won't bring that up on the screen. It won't say current AEW producer.
Yeah.
It would say like
former New York Tag Team Champion or something.
Yeah, it would refer to the New Age Outlaws. But I guess, I mean, is Triple H in it already?
No, Shawn Michaels is.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that surely means this is Triple H. I guess if it's Triple H's first time in it as well, then you can kind of say the China thing is less bad, but maybe that is, again, a distracting.
Yeah, it's still odd. Obviously, with all the videos that I've seen of her before she died, I would have wished that China was just put in before she died. Because that was the main thing she wanted, to make amends with WWE and be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And they've waited till she died. They wouldn't have mentioned her until she died. And as soon as she died, like in Evolution, Stephanie's like, "Oh yeah, China was great." Like, you know that China fucked your man.
Yeah.
And that's, you only say it now she's dead, but that's that, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy for DX though, and happy for China overall.
No, I don't, it's good that and Triple H and X-Pac and like you say, the other guys that are not already in it. So is it only Shawn Michaels currently of all of them that's in it?
Yeah.
Because someone was asking me today as well, is Rick Rude going to be in it?
I saw that,
Which
Matthew
is a fair
Gray.
question. Yeah, it was Matt Gray.
Yeah, but he was only for a couple of weeks, and I get that, but I don't remember him being in it that much. I know he was in it.
He was
very small part.
You would feel hard done by that, wouldn't you? Being the only official member not inducted.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Because surely he's in it. Maybe he's in it anyway, separately. You would think by now.
Yeah, Rick Rude's in it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So
I'm sure he is. He's got to be.
He must be. Like, if not that, he would. He would have his own. Yeah, he must be in it. I mean, I kind of feel like everyone's in it. I think everyone's a household name though, and I realise that not everyone remembers Big Van Vader or
who should be in it by now.
Who should be in it? But again, this is the problem with the Hall of Fame, isn't it? The timing of it can be so atrocious. Like, look at wasn't it
British Bulldogs
Warrior? I think where he died like a week after being inducted or something.
Yeah, he did the Hall of Fame on Saturday, appeared at Mania on Sunday, appeared at Raw on Monday. I think he might have even died on Tuesday. Yeah,
didn't he have some really cryptic?
Yeah, just something fainted
words or something.
Yeah, he's what did he say? Every warrior has his last day or something like that. It would basically mention death.
Yeah.
And passing on, and then he died. It's proper weird.
Yeah. In that theory.
It is. But yeah, so that is the Hall of Fame first announcement for this year. So let's go on to Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
So I've seen it all. I watched it all last night. You've seen clips and you know the results.
I've seen all the results. I've seen as many clips as I could. Manage. Between then and now. I've been good last night and work early this morning. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I have. As soon as I got all the results and just so I could catch a few clips, because I did watch a little bit of it, I think, in like GIFs last night on Twitter when what was it? It was happening Akira Tozawa and
so they were once again on the kickoff show, which is the same pretty much every month now.
Yeah, the cruiserweight. I mean, at least they're on something, but it would be nice if they were on a bit. Why are they the thing that's always on the kickoff show? Or sometimes the tag teams, it isn't always them that get relegated to the kickoff show. It does feel like more them than anyone else. Definitely, for sure. Yeah. Especially recently. But yeah, Buddy Murphy retained the cruiserweight title against Akira Tozawa. So I've heard it's a really good match. It's the only match I haven't seen. So I didn't want to kick off. Akira Tozawa, I just want to say he is great. He's sick. Yeah, man. He's amazing. How he can get a chant over, I don't know. It's just because he's just good in the ring, and I love his dives, and he's brave. He's a brave performer, and like just even having that senton thing that he does, it's so basic, but it just works because nobody else does it, and it's original. Like, there's not many people I could say I'd want pushed on the main roster or whatever you call it more than him. See, I would have said Hideo Itami, but he's obviously announced that he's leaving now. I'd say Hideo Itami is a lot better than Akira. Yeah, but obviously Akira's a lot younger. I don't understand why he never did better than he did. Like, too many injuries, man. Yeah, I guess it was that. A lot of it. He feels like he's been in NXT for 10 years, probably now. It can't be 10 years. No, it's probably only been around for 10 years, hasn't it? Like 3 or 4 years he's been in WWE or NXT. Because when was it? ECW, the new ECW was still a thing in 2008, wasn't it? And then 2009, it was when they started doing FCW, the NXT. When did NXT start? 2008, 2009, something like that, wasn't it? I thought NXT was about 2012. No, it's before that, because I think it replaced the new ECW. Right. Because I seem to remember that being around till about 2007-8. But is that the original NXT where it was just like contestants with their judges kind of thing, their mentors? I'll look it up because I remember Seth was the first champion. He was, yeah. Let's find out. I'm going with 2012. Hello, Katrina. Also, I've asked people to ask us questions as we go, which we'll answer. So, Karen Evangelista, hello. Hello. Did the awful death of Owen Hart change your perception of wrestling or change anything about your own life? I didn't watch it at this point in time.
or maybe just started watching it around that time. But after his death, I didn't know Ironheart that well, but I heard about it. Didn't change anything about my perception of life. It was just an awful, awful event.
Yeah, I mean, I think when that sort of thing happens, everyone, thinks about it a lot, and it does put things in perspective. Especially questions like performers and all this sort of the value that they are,
Yeah.
the commodity that they are supposed to be, and whatever. So,
I mean, falling back to the Hall of Fame, he should be in it, but unfortunately, it's his wife that's blocking that happening. Same for WWE games, not allowed to be in those either because of his wife.
which is fair, really. Like, I don't feel if she feels like she doesn't want them, profiteering or capitalizing on his image or his intellectual property or anything like that.
I mean, I get that, but they're allowed to show his old matches because they own that. And I just feel when his entire family and pretty much most of the fan base want him in the Hall of Fame, I feel like for the fans, not for the company, it should be allowed. But I get her point at the same time. She's obviously very pissed at WWE for still.
Yeah, I think anything they do related to him now is going to be seen as, well, it's not going to be well received by her, is it? Like,
No.
I think it might be in their best interest just to leave it.
Yeah, they have to, I guess.
I don't really know how there's a workaround for that because it's such an extreme example of those things going wrong. And obviously, we were saying earlier, weren't we, about how with wrestling being a more sort of developed / performance art version of, something from Roman times, wrestling, boxing back then was obviously a lot more brutal and a lot less controlled and basically a lot bare knuckle arena fights to the death for like the Roman emperors and whatever. And
down in the Colosseum, man.
Yeah, the Colosseum shit. So that's what it's evolved from, and now it's a more marketable, more watered down version, and that in a lot of ways is why it has been such a surrounding success and such a sustainable industry. Because you look at other combat sports, boxing, UFC, they're all pretty big, but none of them will ever be as big as just the WWE on its own because it can sell this stuff to kids. It's not basically physical violence. There is violent element to it.
It's more athleticism now.
There has to be. It's not ballet, for
No.
example, but it's athleticism. It's a lot of things mixed together. It's a lot of circus. It's a lot of this and that, and it's only really when things go wrong and people get injured. It's not like your aim of it is to injure people. It's almost the opposite. So I guess it's one of those things. Obviously, lessons have to be learned from that. Like
sure.
And I think they have been. Don't think there's been anything like that since. I know there was a nasty incident a couple of years ago where Rey Mysterio had
killed a dude.
Well,
he's 619.
Killed him. I think that's a bit strong.
But inadvertently killed him. Like he died from his injuries, and it was from Rey Mysterio 619.
Do you know what I heard? I thought that at first as well. And I heard that it was actually like the setup kick, I think, that killed him. But nonetheless, by that point he was dead, and obviously Ray then turns around and kicks a dead body. So it's like,
okay, I didn't hear that. That's pretty mad.
That's pretty nuts. So for Ray, obviously Ray has to have all kinds of insurance and license and all this stuff to do at any level really, but at his level especially. And I just guess there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It's like, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I always think of it like, again, why people like, in a sense, these people were like maybe not martyrs, but they paved the way for a lot of good things in terms of health and safety standards. And look at the Eddie Guerrero and Benoit examples again. So Guerrero, you've got all the steroids and stuff being banned, and then you've got Benoit with the chair shots being banned. So they are, in a sense, these guys sort of sacrificial, accidental lambs.
Yeah, I guess so.
They were
in a weird way.
Really, really unhappy accidents. That the risk, the ending of it all, the closure of it. And when you look at how everything and all the shitstorms that the company has survived through the early '90s and whatever else, with Vince and the steroid thing in the early '90s, was it?
With the big steroid thing, that was early '90s, or late '80s.
So none of that is good, but lessons have to be learned from that, and I think they are.
Yeah, I'd agree.
To a large degree. I mean, a lot of performers now. Okay, there's always going to be your monsters like Braun and Brock, but part of what is so attractive about the product now is you've got both male and female, young, incredible athletes putting on moves and sets and technical performances that have never been seen before. So, and there's always this whole argument, isn't there, about people who just think the Attitude Era was great and everything else isn't.
I would.
And you actually look at the in-ring product back then, and it was so much worse than it is today. It's so much less developed and polished and fast. And look at the divisions, the strength of the amount of where they had divisions back then. They've got entire shows now, like 205 Live and NXT. And
it was a lot more fun back then, I would say, to watch. But that was for storylines, and oh my god, that's pretty crazy. And also the hardcore title was fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But that definitely did win hands down for compared to what you got now in terms of storyline and everything else. Because I mean, you're just never going to match characters like Austin.
You don't really get characters
Vince
now.
And The Rock and Triple H and Kane and Undertaker.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian, the Hardys and the Dudleys, just all of the mayhem that happened around that time. Like, it's just too much nonsense to name. Like,
there are no characters anymore.
Just the beer trucks and the shit.
Yeah.
And the blowing up cars.
Cement into a limo.
Filling cars with cement and all this. I mean, I'm sure it costs a lot, but
yeah.
The closest things that I've seen in recent years is, do you remember when Brock smashed up Seth's, did he get given a
red car and he flew through the door?
Splash sports car or something.
Yeah.
Took the door off, ripped the door off from there and just smashed
the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar smashing up a car, and I get why they can't do that every week. But
yes.
More vehicle smashing. Let's bring that back.
Yeah, I'm down.
When Austin drove, I think he had Triple H in the ambulance or something. Nate pulled it up the other day.
Was this Royal Rumble 99?
I don't know. I saw a clip of it the other day. It was a Buried Alive match. I think it was maybe like Big Show or Triple H or something ridiculous. And Undertaker, no, I think it was Big Show and Triple H. And then Austin comes up the ambulance when Triple H is winning, I think.
Right.
And beats him down and then gets Triple H in the ambulance, drives off with the ambulance, and then parks the ambulance next to the wall, and then gets in the truck and just starts ramming the ambulance.
I remember it, yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, and the other one that's a favourite vehicle one of mine is, do you remember, I think it's Rowdy Roddy Piper and Goldust in the alley, where he like runs him over and stuff.
He does, yeah.
Isn't it a gold car or something?
It is. It's got like gold Cadillac, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was a Mania match where they fought a street fight.
Rowdy was, fully legitimately punching the guy in the face on top of the car. He didn't mess about. And then I'm sure Goldust runs him over, or he runs Goldust.
I think
Goldust. The hose as well. The hose is like spraying him with a hose against the car, and then he runs him over, and it's like literally ridiculous.
So, keeping on the topic of
the topic of
Elimination Chamber. Keeping on the
so how do we get from that to this?
Owen Hart's question, to be fair, not his question, but about him. So sticking on with what you were saying just then about the new era being better. So the first ever women's
product wise, I absolutely agree with people who are only like into characters and storylines and stuff. If that Attitude Era, 100%.
If they mix the two, it'd be perfect. We need more characters that are stupid, like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But focusing on the new era. So the first ever women's tag title match. To run down, it was Bayley and Sasha winning.
Yeah, and I'm happy about that. Couldn't there be no other result? Could there really?
No. Other members were Right Squad Iconics, Jax Tamina, Nia Jax and Tamina, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, and Naomi and Carmella. Carmella came down to some hench boos because of the whole Corey Graves situation.
Wait, what have I missed? Carmella?
Carmella got booed to shit because of the whole outing of Corey Graves cheating on his wife with Carmella.
Ooh, well, I haven't heard about this one. When was this? This
was announced yesterday, the day before. His wife went on Instagram.
Is that why I've been seeing Corey Graves jokes all day?
Yes.
Right, I get it now. I didn't know that. I just found that out. I don't know how I missed that, but all right, cool.
A strange team of Carmella and Naomi. It didn't really make sense, but they was kind of, we need a SmackDown team, let's throw them together.
Yeah, as is so often the way. And this women's tag team division best be ready, because that's what's happened with the men's tag team for years. That is what's going to happen, I'm sure. Like this whole thing, didn't you say this joint titles is the only titles that are not part of the brand split?
Yeah, I believe so. Only the champions will go to both shows. So they'll obviously need people to fight them from both shows. They can't just defend them on Raw because Sasha and Bayley are Raw girls.
Is that a good thing, or is that I don't know if that's going to work in a sense like.
I think it's good because it means they'll challenge someone from SmackDown at this month, and then the next month they have someone from Raw, and might be Raw for a few months, then SmackDown for a few months.
Yeah.
But you can't have people like the Iconics, who are fundamentally just a tag team, not be going for the titles that exist now.
No, it's just going to be. How's it going to work? Having one. Is it unique and good, or is it?
I have to see how they play it out tonight and tomorrow. Ideally, they would, but I'm hearing rumours that they're going to defend the titles against Trish and Lita at WrestleMania.
Again, Trish and Lita aren't a famous tag team. It's just that's a thrown together tag team, even though that sounds silly because it's Trish and Lita.
Yeah.
You know,
they've become more of a tag team after they've left, which is really weird because they're massive rivals. But now they've kind of gone on to like since they've left, it's been pretty big. Like their love for each other. Hello, Joey Anthony. Question from him.
Yes,
also, hello, Jamie as well. If you had to pick an Elimination Chamber match with 3 legends and 3 current superstars, who would you pick?
Ooh, that's a good one. 3 legends and 3 current.
Of anyone, dead or alive, or just alive? That's a question for you, Joey. I'll give you my 3 currents. It'll be AJ Styles, it'll be Jeff Hardy, and it'll be Kofi Kingston.
That's a good. That's strong. I would say Elimination Chamber. You got to think about the match as well. So Jeff Hardy can't again not put AJ Styles in there if you're going current. I've got to have someone from Raw then, haven't I? Really.
I took 3 SmackDowns. Fuck them.
Right now, let's just say, fuck it, Brock Lesnar. That is my current 3.
And it's anybody dead or alive. So 3 dead or alive legends would be Eddie Guerrero, CM Punk, and
Eddie Guerrero. He's got to be in mine as well.
That's tough. Who's that last one?
Big 3, I would say Eddie Guerrero, The Rock.
Just thought about that, but wasn't sure.
I've got to put The Rock in there, and Austin. Oh, Austin, I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, I'm going Austin, The Rock, and wait, who's my first one? Guerrero, yeah, because I can't not put him in it. So yeah, Eddie Guerrero, The Rock, Austin, and Jeff Hardy, AJ, and Brock.
All right, so I've got.
That would be mental. I mean, imagine.
Kofi, AJ, Jeff, Eddie Guerrero, CM Punk, and oh mate, and fuck it, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, nice, yeah, good choice.
There you go, nice.
Right, so Goldberg, Randy Savage, and Andre the Giant.
Yeah, who's your currents? While you reply to that, we'll carry on with the Elimination Chamber tag match for the women's titles.
Look, I think he's coming in.
Dun, dun, dun. Women's titles. So Iconics got the first pin, I believe, over Riot Squad. They did a pretty cool acrobatic move. That was pretty sick for them, considering a lot of people actually thought they were going to win. I can't watch anymore, so I couldn't pick 3 new wrestlers as well. That sucks. What a killjoy.
just pick three names then that you know, because I mean there must be guys in it now that Joey knows. I mean there's a bunch of people that
Rollins almost made mine over Kofi.
Oh, Rollins!
After seeing last night.
Oh man, is it too late to change my top 5? Oh man,
no, it's not too late. Just don't give any away over the screen. Right.
Well, I kind of have, haven't I? Just there.
No, yeah,
no one heard that. Don't
worry. Cool. Yeah. So Jackson Tamina were also rumored to win, but I quite like how they did this. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, but Nia Jax went to spear someone through the Elimination Chamber door, like the pod, and whoever it was, I think it was Sasha Banks, or no, it might have been Bailey, moved out the way. So Nia Jax went face first through the pod and was out cold for the rest of the match. And
Cool.
then like 5 people just ganged on Tamina and pinned her.
Okay.
So it still made Tamina look strong. Hello, Matthew. Kofi, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman.
Yes, Matt.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Kofi,
How's
Seth,
the
and Braun.
hangover? Kofi Kingston's, that's actually pretty good. Kofi, Seth, and Braun Strowman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So yeah, it went on to the final. So the first 2 in the match, I believe, were Banks and definitely Sasha and Bailey, and I think the other 2, the other 2 end people were definitely Rose and Deville, who I kind of thought might have actually won it. I think both those teams were the ones that started off at the beginning as well, so both beginning ones went on to the ends.
Cool.
If you guys had to choose finishes for you, what would it be? Whenever I created myself on a wrestling game, I'd have 2 finishes, obviously. One was either the super kick because it's amazing, or the Trouble in Paradise by Kofi, and my second finisher would usually be the money shot, so just basically a landing dive, or a swanton because it's a fucking swanton.
Okay, so 3 finishes in it.
2 finishes, or any finishes.
If you choose finishers for you, what would they be? Okay, so it's always a difficult one, isn't it? It would have to be something aerial. I like the whole jumping off the ropes thing.
Yep. Is it Mustafa Ali that's got the 045 backwards 450? Is he that does that?
Oh, that thing's
Or is
mental.
I think it's Mustafa Ali. It's so fucking good.
I think it is, or yeah, it is. I'm sure you're right. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely someone on 205 roster.
Well,
I think it is. Yeah, it's got to be. He is crazy good as well. Like
he's been called up. Brian was the one that got him called up apparently because Brian's doing a lot of his own shit.
Yeah, because I mean that was quite a big thing, wasn't it, when he had a main event SmackDown match with Brian
and beat him.
And beat him.
Yeah. I mean, he was going to be in the Elimination Chamber,
So-
but he got injured, so Kofi took over.
Yeah, I mean, what does he? I hope he does get a lot more push, man, because he's done so well recently, and he really deserves it as well because he just puts on amazing matches on a really underwatched show. Like I know 205 Live often does like better, sorry, worse in the ratings and things like Total Bellas consistently and all these other things they have on the network. Like I think it's the only actual sort of full-on roster program that does as bad as it does, and it's sad because like I guess it'll be good though when they've got the full UK up and running and the NXT up and running. Like 205 is all relatively new. I'm in NXT, so after they've had a few years of those, like 205 isn't that old, that new now, is it?
Oh, it's about
2
year or 2. I know Talking Smack wasn't that long ago. Then it replaced Talking Smack, which was awful because Talking Smack was amazing.
Talking Smack was amazing, but why don't they just have both? This is what I mean. That would make sense. That would be the sensible thing to do.
I'm hoping when SmackDown goes to Fox on Fridays, because it's changed back to Fridays, live on Fridays. Hopefully they'll keep 205 on Tuesdays and then do SmackDown, Talking Smack after SmackDown on Fridays. But I don't know. It might change again.
Well, I guess whatever way you look at it, the SmackDown deal with Fox is great.
Yeah.
Because it is so much money. It's like $1 billion a year, and it's only going to give them a massive boost on the audience. I mean, I know people are worried about ratings now, and with good reason if they're moving over to Fox from USA Network. But I mean, just being on Fox will get them more viewers. Like it's a much bigger channel.
Yeah.
What is it on now? USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
same as Raw.
Yeah, that is. Thing is, though, I know that they won't be able to do this whole. That's another question because Fox are going to be like, from what I've seen, very much, SmackDown
only, not promoting any Raw. They don't want any Raw products on a SmackDown.
That's basically
which I'm up for because it makes the brand split better. Makes it seem like more of a war.
It is a more legitimate thing. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, I've always just been a SmackDown guy. To be honest, I find the 3-hour thing with Raw too long.
Yeah.
Given that the world we live in with sound bites and YouTube clips that like I just don't find the time to watch a 3 hour Raw.
Yeah.
I don't know who does anymore. A full 3 hour Raw and SmackDown every week, and then Impact and
Yeah,
everything else.
it's mad.
Because I love Impact as well. I've always liked Impact. I don't see enough of that nowadays either. I need to watch more of that.
Oh, is it Global Force or has it changed back to Impact now?
It's Impact now, and it's a lot better recently. Like some of the matches I have seen have been really good, and I do feel like I should watch more of it.
Yeah.
But they're going to struggle again with AEW now.
Yeah, definitely. Which we'll get to coming up. So, what would your finisher be?
We didn't get there, did we? Just gonna have to nick one at random, innit? The People's Elbow. No,
The Worm.
the worm. Let's just go with a Swanson.
Yeah, Swan's so good.
Let's do it.
Majestic as fuck. If Jeff Hardy.
A good Swanson.
So Bailey and Sasha, first of champs. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could really deserve that.
I thought maybe Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, possibly even Jax and Tamina, but I hate Jax now. Like she's botching too much shit up, and I'm getting tired of it.
What you say about Sonya and that would have been good actually. Sonya and Mandy because there goes that. Sonya and Mandy because it would have been good to give them, Sasha and Bailey have had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for Sasha.
It would have made sense. It would have been something they could push if they were the first, because that would have been their first big thing, really. But yeah, I guess it does make more sense to put it on Sasha and Bailey. They do deserve it. They have been massive for ages, isn't they, as well, both of them. Like whether it's as a tag team or as rivals, etc. They've always smashed it, haven't they?
Yeah.
I like Bailey and Sasha's great. Sasha, they're both great.
On a quick one with Matt, he said Talking Smack made the Miz for him. His meltdown promo was amazing. I agree. Miz is one of my favourite wrestlers now and deserves the WWE Championship, and that's spawned because of that interview.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the Miz, he's completely right. The Talking Smack it was so good, and why did they axe it? Like, surely it can't have cost a lot to make. Like, given that it was, and just it got such. I'm pretty sure it did really well, didn't it? Like, sure did you say they replaced it with 205 Live?
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but how? Surely that for them, given what it takes to put on even an hour of NXT or 205 Live or whatever it is, and that's even considerably cheaper than when you're looking at the main roster because of the money involved in the performance. But with a show like Talking Smack that does so much to boost things like Matt just said about the Miz and how that made him, that was one of the moments that made him as iconic as he is. Definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
But I also think a lot of the stuff he was doing at that time, because the band split early days was just a really good time anyway, because it was new, it was exciting, it was fresh, and it was really competitive. And you had people like the Miz really go for the brass ring. You had the SmackDown 6 again. Yeah, that was great. That's what I loved about it. So what was it? AJ Bray, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton.
No.
A couple of other people who I feel bad about.
Yeah.
But I just remember it being really good in the early days of the SmackDown brand split. Then obviously there was the Dark Age where they sort of.
You had Owens as well. Owens and Zayn.
You did. Oh no, they were Raw early on.
Oh, were they? Started Raw and went to SmackDown.
Over, yeah, I think. But yeah, Alexa as well. That was when she was running everything.
Yeah, she was the women's division.
Queen SmackDown, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So that was just a really good time. I feel like it took a dip when they got a lot of their big names robbed. Alexa, Dean, Bray, all at the same time and taken to Raw. And okay, they did get Charlotte. That's a big one. They did also get Nakamura.
Yeah.
Up from NXT. They did get, Jinder did well, but not as well as he could have done.
I liked his reign.
I liked his reign. It was different.
It was a bit too long, but like loads of people said he didn't deserve to be champion, but I feel like he did.
I feel like he did. It's nice when someone else gets it. To me, that's like Leicester winning the Premier League, isn't it? Whatever that happened a few years ago. It's like just I can't imagine it happening, but it did. And no, he did well, and it's very smart business move for them. But I do notice it's a little bit cheap in all my faces because you remember I think TNA were, or was it even TNA? Then it was Impact Global Force, whatever it was at the time. They were doing the first ever TV tapings in India of wrestling or something.
Yeah.
And like almost immediately, a month afterwards, nearly said the BBC, WWE just put the title on the nearest Asian heavyweight.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, never saw that coming. It's again, what was it earlier when they did that? We were saying about the House of Horrors and the Farm
Stolen from TNA.
Yeah, the Final Deletion remake. It was like the Wicker Man remake of the wrestling world.
Cool.
Smashed it.
I'm gonna
where have we gone?
leave comments
until on about.
I'm gonna leave the comments and questions between each one now. So next up was the SmackDown tag titles. Shane and Miz lost to the Usos, which is strange because I thought it would go a bit longer, and also one of the Usos got arrested literally the day before Elimination Chamber, and
did he?
still won the titles.
Was the same one who got arrested a month or so, a few months
Quite
ago?
possibly, yeah. This one, this time it had a standoff with the cops, I think. There's even rumours going around that Naomi and the Usos, I think it's Jay Uso, that's the ones that are married, are trying to get fired by WWE so they can go to AEW. But I feel like that's just speculation and rumours that are probably not true.
You don't get arrested to try and get fired. Like, that is not what. That just doesn't make sense. Not in America. No way. That's just. That is legitimately just a silly conspiracy theory. Like,
yeah.
But why wouldn't they just? Because surely if they've got some kind of clause where they can't leave, and they have to see out the rest of their contract or whatever, and not go to AEW, surely they would do that before getting arrested to get fired.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Imagine.
So I was surprised by this win. That was the main surprise of the whole night, to be honest. But yeah, I guess Shane and Miz are gonna fall out. Probably have a fight at Fastlane. Ideally, Miz would fight Bryan for the title at Mania.
So as well, that would.
But I feel like it's gonna be Miz and Shane at Mania.
Miz and Shane at Mania makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah,
but I'd like to. I know what you mean. I'd like to have seen it go for a lot longer with that. It's just great. It's just such an unlikely pairing, but it works really well. And the other thing, I guess, is Shane's 49, so he can't really do that much with the titles. But then he could do one of those things where they just don't defend him that often, or constantly trying to get out of defending them. But they were like faces, weren't they? They were really wireless faces as well.
Yeah, beat the Bar, which is one of the strongest tag teams in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is why I love SmackDown for tag team stuff generally so much more than Raw.
Although they have completely fucked
Gallows and Anderson.
That and mainly the other dudes, the threesome used to have Nikki Cross. Oh, what are they called?
Oh, the girls.
There's no Nick. Eric Young.
I just think of TNA. Eric Young. It's not his thing in TNA, is it? It's what it's called, something else. Sanity. Yes. Oh, they completely fucked them. They could have been massive, to be honest, but I loved Eric Young in TNA though, man.
Yeah, him and his wife were good.
As a face and a heel, he's really good. But yeah, what were you on about? Oh, Shane and Miz and who said? I guess how long can it be a tag team title run with a 49-year-old?
Yeah, it's a shame, but
that's the thing, isn't it?
They were good together. It was fun to watch, at least.
Oh yeah, I also think with Shane, he's almost a box office attraction now. When he's in matches, people watch, because they know there's always that chance he's going to jump off something silly or.
Yeah, that is the appeal to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Going on to probably the worst, no, not the worst match tonight. It's still not great though. Good result. IC title. Finn Balor defeated Lashley and Leo Rush in a handicap match by pinning Leo Rush.
Okay, I'm going to say why I don't think this is a good result. Yes, Finn Balor should be pushed, absolutely. And yes. IC title, very happy for him.
Yeah.
It's a good, that's a step. That's giving something back because he has had so much taken away from him.
Yeah.
You think about the fact that he was first ever Universal Champion.
Yeah.
And all that thing happened where he lost it the same night as he won it, or had to give it up because
the next day, because of injury in the match with Seth.
So that is it's obviously shit for a minute, like, and I do feel like he works really hard, but the only reason it's going to get a down is because, sorry, um, but it is I like Lashley. I think Lashley,
Oh, he sucks so bad.
he just does like,
He's so boring. That's the problem. His character is boring.
he is not boring. You just look at his run in TNA as the world heavyweight title, and he is as good as any heavyweight they've ever had. For a long time, if you looked at sort of the year or two before he came back and he was in TNA and Impact, you watched his run and it was so dominant. For like the first 2 or 3 years of him even being in it, I think it wasn't even him. He didn't even say anything. He was literally completely silent. He would have like Kenny King and MVP with a beatdown clan, and Samoa Joe was in the stable with him, and
Right.
Loki. It was amazing. Um, and he was like this guy that just, he would have people. MVP was obviously the mouthpiece, but he used to be in the matches as well. But Lashley was like the Brock Lesnar of TNA, and that's what made so many people think this guy needs to fight Lesnar, and that's all they should have done as soon as he got to WWE, put him against Lesnar, and made it absolute box office smash.
That would have worked. Okay, it is his booking in WWE that sucks, but
They really, really watered him down, and he's like a comedy character almost now, like. And you look at what he's done. He's not just like a multiple-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He's done I think he's got an incredible record in MMA as well. It's like last I checked a few years ago, it was something like 13 and 14 wins against 2 or 3 losses. Like,
right, okay.
and that's in
Oh, is that in Bellator?
Bellator and maybe Strikeforce, a couple of those big promotions, like. So I'm sure he's done others. He's like an Olympic Marines wrestling
God.
CAA champion.
Yeah.
It's one of those things as well. Yeah, like, I feel that Lashley is really, really massively under push. And when he got the IC title, maybe that's why I feel this way, as same as I feel about Balor. Yes, it's good that Balor has been given that nod of confidence, and they said, look, here's the IC title. That is the second biggest in terms of prestige, etc.
Yeah.
So that's good that they've given him that, but I feel like Lashley should have had it longer. Plus, I like what he's doing with this whole Leo Rush thing. I think that it works.
That's ended now after the match finished. He beat the shit out of Leo Rush.
I know. But I don't think it has. I mean, it would be a great rivalry.
You think?
Yeah. It's kind of ideal, isn't it? In a way, it's the David and Goliath thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I guess so.
If they can pull that off and get Leo over enough, which I think is possible, because he just does all this amazing acrobatic clowning around, and is great to watch. And Lashley's the opposite of that. He's the guy who, if he can just hit him in midair with one spear, that's the end of the match. But like, that's what makes those kind of things interesting. I can see it working. But yeah, as for Balor, yeah, he should have maybe had that a bit sooner. But I am sad to see Lashley lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lashley.
We'll go on to the definite worst match of the night. It was Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott for the women's title in about a 3-minute match.
What else was Riott? I'm sorry, no disrespect to Riott, but we all know that is a paper booking. Because Ronda has to have, and it's amazing for Ruby Riott and her career and everything, obviously, but
I feel like they could have showcased her for a good few more minutes more to show that Ruby's a bit of a threat.
Just to show she could.
Now she looks like pathetic.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. We all kind of knew that was going to happen.
I didn't think it'd be that bad.
It was only ever going to be a squash, man. You know,
every match Rousey's had has been at least a bit of length to it. And yeah, Rousey is obviously the lowest competitor she's had against her, but to put her into a match where she gets a couple of moves in against and then submit straight away, it was just. I felt bad for her, man. She should have had they should have had 10 minutes. Not a massive match, but not a 3-minute match.
What they could have done is had Rousey and Charlotte, got that out of the way, and obviously if Charlotte wins, she gets a shot in a triple threat with Becky at Mania. I don't know why that wasn't.
Which I severely. Well, now it's been given to Charlotte, isn't it?
We all knew Charlotte was going to be, and I can understand it. Look at it from a business perspective. She is Charlotte Flair at the end.
I get that, but it's not. It's not her time. It's Becky's time, and it's a 1-on-1.
I know. That's why I feel really bad for Becky. It is Becky's time, but they're thinking Mania. They're thinking mainstream pop culture, household name appeal. And that's what they want in their posts at Charlotte Flair. Because there will still be people out there now. I know we're wrestling fans, but there's going to be a lot of people who will know Ric Flair, but will not have even heard of Charlotte Flair. So they
Yeah.
see that on a poster, and Ronda Rousey in the same match, and Becky Lynch. That's automatically got Becky Lynch over because she's up there with those two.
I'll be fine with it if Becky pins Rousey. I think I would rather.
Charlotte is great.
Charlotte is great.
I know what you mean.
She's
I
not her
love
time,
Becky
man.
right now, and she is.
Becky's the hottest thing in WWE. That's the end of it.
She's the new Stone Cold, very much so.
Like, I think I would rather Rousey pinned Lynch 1-on-1 than Charlotte be in the match at all.
Yeah.
Because if I see Lynch pin Charlotte, it's a good victory, but it's not a victory. It's you've won the title, that's great, but it's not what she needs. That ultimate, you've just pinned Ronda Rousey. You're the first person to do it, or submitted Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because what would Charlotte have if not that? What would they do with her for Mania? It is Mania, and they I know what you mean. It's Becky. They should have left it, but they can't. So whatever they do, they lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I know what they would do on Charlotte. Otherwise,
Charlotte, people are going to be pissed one way or the other. Like so.
Well, after this super short match, Charlotte got into the ring because she was sat ringside anyway, and then Lynch came through the crowd and beat the crap out of Charlotte with her crutch.
Yes, I've seen all that.
Yes, yeah, and then just as Rousey thinks she's safe, she beats the fuck out of Rousey too.
And this is why, to be fair, Becky is the one making the headlines at the minute. That was the first thing I saw about the whole thing. I think on Twitter is gift
Rousey. Lynch got nuts.
Becky in the crutches. I was like, yes, and isn't she dressed in the Kill Bill stuff as well? Like.
She does have yellow on her, I think. Yeah,
I think she's gone for the Kill Bill.
I'm
sure it's like a Kill Bill reverse because that's yellow with the black stripe. I think she's got it the other way around.
Right.
Something like that. Because I remember people commenting on that as well, and I was like, oh yeah, she has got some kind of Kill Bill thing going on. And hitting people with crutches, I'm all about that. I think that's always great. More of that. Same with vehicle smashing. We were saying earlier, vehicle smashing needs to come back.
Yes.
More vehicles need to be
broken,
heavily damaged, or destroyed entirely in weekly WWE programming. And I understand it's a lot of money, but it will bring ratings because if you know that's what they're missing from the Attitude Era. The pyro,
the pyro for the beginning of every show. And then also another thing, quick before we go on to the Corbin-Strowman match, a massive thing they're missing from WWE right now is the stage shows. That's why I love Rumble so much. It looks different. Whereas everything else, apart from Mania, has the same SmackDown or Raw backdrop with just a different visual.
Yeah.
You remember Backlash with the spikes going down, and you had Judgment Day with like the fiery stuff and the Armageddon and the fire stuff and the crash tactics.
Yeah.
That shit I miss. Now every show feels the same.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, even could they not just bring some of it back? So like, even just for it's the intros. I know obviously that people get injured as well with the pyro, didn't they? But they didn't need to maybe go as mad as they did, but just to bring
just make something feel different from a Raw.
Yeah, and okay, keep that on Raw then, because that then be a good reason to walk. Do you remember I was saying there's reasons, things SmackDown should focus on, like having its own title on its top title is the biggest one really, and it being on that show and it being the legit wrestling show with more tag team matches, more matches in general. A lot more focus on women's tag teams as well. Mm-hmm. They could do a lot of that, whereas Raw should keep all the vehicle smashing.
Yeah.
And because that was kind of how it was in the old days, and yeah, they need to just smash more vehicles.
Last thing before we carry on, I get emails from the network like with little surveys, and every single time there's a survey, they say, "Would you want this kind of show?" And they always ask about a separate hardcore style show, hardcore title show. And I'm sure everyone answers yes, but it just doesn't keep happening. But we are somehow 53 minutes into this podcast, and we have got through 5 matches.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm going to push on. So, no DQ, Corbin versus Strowman. Bit of a shit match. Lashley and Drew McIntyre came out, which I think is cool because McIntyre versus Strowman at Mania would be pretty good.
Yeah. So, it's a Corbin one, didn't it?
Yeah, so it was a bit of a throwaway match, really.
Yeah, I think again that's nothing against Corbin really, but Braun shouldn't be getting beaten very often.
No.
And I know that's good because you've got to do those kind of results because otherwise you've got to keep people guessing. Surely most of us would have gone into that and saying like, surely this is just a paper match like Ruby and Ronda. But this is not. To be fair, it's like Braun. I didn't see that coming. I wouldn't have said Corbin would win that. I'd say that's
No, I predicted it as
surely. I
Jade.
thought it might, make him look pretty good, but at the same time, yeah, I thought it would maybe go on a while, but Braun would win.
Yeah. So finishing off with the WWE title Elimination Chamber match, which in my opinion is probably one of the best, if not the best, Elimination Chamber match of all time. Bryan defeated Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe to retain. The final two were Kofi and Bryan.
Which is cool, but I wanted Kofi to win.
I mean, it would have been amazing.
Even though I love Jeff, I love AJ, even Bryan Orton to a degree, all of the guys in it are great. But I wanted Kofi to win it more because he just doesn't get any of that. Like
No, he deserves
AJ
it.
is consistently at the top, Jeff at the same, and when they're doing badly, they've got the US title or something. Whereas when they're doing well, they've got the big one. So Kofi isn't. I guess the New Day has kind of been his thing for a while, but
Yeah, been going for years now.
I don't ever want that to end because it's so.
It is awesome.
It's funny, but at the same time, I think maybe the one way you could work it is have him if he does get the big one, say, then give the other two the tag titles.
Yeah, like they did with.
Then that could lead to the breakup of the New Day because over time they could build a storyline where Kofi becomes,
the guy,
the king of the castle, and in the end, the other two decide to turn on him or something like that. You could make some massive storylines out of that.
When it got down to the final two, I already predicted Bryan was going to win. When it got down to the final two, I was like, Kofi's definitely not winning. But watching it, there were so many moments like I genuinely thought Kofi's got it. Like I thought Kofi was going to win at one point. It was captivating. It was such a good match. So yeah, I would implore anyone that hasn't watched it hasn't watched it to watch it because it's fucking good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hold of the whole thing, and I've just seen all the clips, a few finishes, and that. As we can run and reverse some madness. Watch that.
Yeah, I need to watch that match. Right, going on to the next part of the podcast with AEW.
Yes.
So is it just a glorified t-shirt company, or is it the biggest threat to WWE since WCW?
I think it is. Yeah, the latter.
Yeah, I think it's close to that for sure.
My argument for that is that it's. I've had this argument with many people on Twitter as well. Like, a lot of people are saying it is just a t-shirt company and blah blah blah, and they've never had a show and this and that. They got not only have they got the names that they've got right now in
Jericho, Omega,
Jericho, Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Neville. There's some massive names going there, and a lot of others as well that are sort of going to get big because they go there.
Yep.
But obviously the biggest names they have will elevate the other guys around them. That's
for sure. Yeah.
Kind of how it will always work. But they
have got the money behind it.
Yeah, they've got them. This is the other thing. They've
Tony
got Khan family, so they own the Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham. So it's like that's serious. But they've got like 2 potential TV deals on the table.
Yeah. They're throwing big cash out to people as well. That's why Jericho signed.
Yeah, and they're also making a lot of things, aren't they? Where they're saying like they're going to offer medical insurance and that kind of thing. That I think something like that. It might not be that.
Oh, definitely helps.
There's something along those lines. I remember that they said that they're going to make it their mission to kind of be better than WWE or offer them those kinds of things, which obviously makes the contracts really appealing.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting. It is great to see the fact that they haven't even had a show yet. They're shipping tickets like hotcakes.
Yeah.
They've got all these big names and massive financial backing. TV deals, big TV deals on the table, and then to the point where they can actually choose which they want. Because I think a lot of networks will understand the potential in the ratings of when WCW and WWF were both doing millions in the 90s. That was because the other was good. So it was competitive, and it's a healthy competitive market. That's how it works. So I don't think any actual wrestling fans would want AEW to do badly, but you're always going to have the purists that are just like only watch WWE or are really anti WWE as well.
Yeah.
So I say let it run, give it a chance, man.
Yeah, I'm fully up for it. I
Sounds good. Like,
don't have enough time to watch anything about WWE these days. But if the product's good enough, I'm definitely going to check it out. And great. If I start watching it, it'll just take some more out of WWE's time. So for them, it really is a competition.
yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'd quite like to think AEW will do really well, but again, it's like, is that gonna? What's that gonna mean for companies like Impact and NJP and Ring of Honor?
That's the thing.
Is that gonna boost them, or is that gonna?
I think it will
harm them?
hinder bands, hinder companies like Impact and possibly ROH. But I feel like New
I think
Japan
that'll
won't be
help
affected by it.
And here's why. Because, like, what if we sort of probably only know about these companies from Impact, Ring of Honor, companies that, people who don't know wrestling won't know. So if if AEW gets good, and that means that WWE gets better and so on, and it gets competitive, it gets ratings war kind of thing, like the late 90s again, where they both got millions of viewers and there's a real actual competition.
Mm-hmm.
That surely then, if people get into wrestling because of one or the other or both, once they get, a bit bored of that, they might journey off like we would have done, found Impact, Ring of Honor, whatever else is out there. So it might elevate them. I don't know yet. It could certainly harm them as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
They're both sort of at the minute, until this thing or leap, they were sort of both for a long time sort of fluctuating, weren't they, as the number 2 promotion.
Impact.
Impact and Ring of Honor, sorry.
Yeah.
In like the USA anyway.
Yeah,
Maybe NJP's arguably been bigger than both of them for a long time. But yeah, I don't know why Impact and Ring of Honor don't just sort of merge. I've often thought that, like, Ring of Honor's got probably better roster and wrestlers over time, but their production has always been rubbish. And Impact has always been really good, but with a much smaller, thinner roster, I think, than ROH. Yeah.
Right.
But they've always had big names and spent a lot of money on production and stuff.
Yeah. Safe to say, well, they sold out their first pay-per-view, All or Nothing. They sold that out in 4 minutes. I think it was 15,000 tickets in 4 minutes, gone.
It's technically their second, though, isn't it? I don't know, is it technically or not? Because
it's their first, but it's
All In is the first, though, isn't it? That was like the foundation stone.
Yeah, but they weren't under the AEW banner.
No, it wasn't. You're right, actually. Yeah, so we're not counting that. No, okay, that's fair.
So going on to the pros and cons of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and there's a lot of both, isn't there?
We kind of like had a little chat before. It's like usually me and Rob would not chat before it, but because this is on the fly and all made today, we kind of discussed a bit beforehand. So we'll list off our pros, list off our cons, and then we'll have a discussion at the end of whether we think Paul Heyman should remain in WWE. Cool. So pros I've got for him, he's obviously a big name, massive name. He does sell tickets. That's for certain.
Yeah, loads of tickets.
Yep, and
let's not underestimate how many tickets he does actually sell. Like, pay-per-view wise, especially, I mean, Raw, it's kind of hit or miss because you don't really even know necessarily if he's going to turn up.
Yeah.
I mean, they would probably announce it, wouldn't they, generally speaking?
Usually, yeah.
Not strictly speaking in the same way. Whereas if you know he's on a pay-per-view, or if you know he's not on a pay-per-view, that's when I'd say things that are... Because does he even defend it? I mean, on most pay-per-views. Like...
No. He does the big four, and he'll do one now and again. I can't remember the last time he defended it. It was against Finn Balor, and I think that was Survivor Series. No, Royal Rumble, sorry.
Right, so how old is Brock now? Must be
him.
Late 30s.
Nah, surely like 45-ish.
Nah, really?
Let's have a go, shall we?
Because I thought he got into it really young, didn't he?
He was champion at 25, so maybe it is late 30s. Brock Lesnar is
he was
41.
41, okay, so he's still potentially got a lot of gas in the tank, and I don't know how... I know he's always saying he wants to go back to UFC, but all this, I don't know how serious he can be about that, because look at the money he makes in WWE. It is astronomical.
Stupid
for the work he does.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he doesn't love the fight business and everything else, because he obviously does. He's He's just one of those dudes. But I think he must look at it like there's a lot more risk in UFC and a lot less reward financially. Like, for, he probably gets 10 grand just for stepping in the ring and bouncing around.
Yeah, standing next to Paul Heyman.
And just
Yeah.
talks, he doesn't even say anything.
I mean, that's my last pro, and probably the biggest for me is with Lesnar comes more Paul Heyman on screen time, and Paul Heyman's a genius.
Yeah, I do love Paul Heyman. I think he's great. He's probably the best sort of all time at what he does. It's good to have that animal on a leash, the box office attraction, all that stuff, like the cage of idea where it's just all of it works. Heyman and Lesnar is just, I should really say Lesnar and Heyman is an institution in wrestling, isn't it? It's like there's not anything else on that level. Like,
no, I guess not.
Because also when you think about his actual legitimate fighting career, that adds to the myth and the legend and the mystique and all that. Like, there is no one else on his level, so I say keep him.
Well, cons for me are part time. Most of his matches are basic. Like Styles and Bryan were really good matches. Even Balor was pretty good, but majority of his matches are pretty shitty and basic. And overall, he's tainted the Universal title. Like, I don't care about the Universal title now at all.
No, I get a lot of people don't, but I think, to me, what you say there is a pro because it sort of builds him. And I often think about how they should do. Just let him keep it. Give him the Universal title for like 5 to, if he's 41, did you say? So give him it for 5 years. Then in 2025, Seth Rollins somehow conquers the giant. A true David and Goliath story that's built up, so people just get normalized. So they just watch it and they just get tuned into being used to Lesnar winning the title. And it becomes a real, how long is this going to go on for? Is he going to be Bruno Sammartino's however many
10,000 days,
something like that? But so they start to talk about it in thousands of days. That's why he should be kept. They haven't got anything else. The minute they lose him, what do they replace him with?
People that deserve it, like young stars. That's what I think they're missing out. So we're back in the day of the first brand split when he had the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title. They had the WWE title for the big stars, and they had the World Heavyweight title. Yeah, you had Taker.
Who are the big stars in the heavyweight division? Lashley should be. He is not. He's booked into the ground, and it's not fair.
Braun's getting fucked over.
Lashley has shown in TNA what he is capable of. Like, if they just put him straight in there, no comedy nonsense, just put him in there against Lesnar, Lashley, you've suddenly got a massive heavyweight in the sort of older generation that can get Lashley over.
It should be given to Braun. Braun deserves more, I'd say. He's become
okay. So even if they do or don't do Lashley, that's what I'm saying. Lashley should be more in that picture.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah. I like that he won the IC title. That's good because he does deserve at least that at this point. But again, I'd like to see his run in a bit longer. But he should be in that main event picture really with Braun, and just put it all on Raw. Just have the tag teams and the women's and stuff specifically on SmackDown. More wrestling, more quick fire matches, more cruiserweights, more all that stuff. So SmackDown's a wrestling show again. Then put the vehicle smashing on Raw and put that on Raw. Put the heavyweight division. So then you've got reasons to watch both shows.
I would probably entirely tune out Raw if that was the case.
What you're telling me? If there was a heavyweight division with Lashley, Braun, and Lesnar all booked equally at the top of that, so it's genuine, like you don't know who's going to win certain stuff.
I mean, it would be good.
And you had them driving lorries into each other and stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's cool as well. Definitely, that would drag me in. But a whole show based on the heavyweights would just, it's just because Braun's so stale and boring. Lashley, I just don't like at all.
I don't just mean all heavyweights. I mean all the mad Hollywood Stardust nonsense, all the celebrity appearance, all the things like Jon Stewart getting the AA and stuff
right, yeah.
Today Show. All those bits should be on Raw. All the heavyweight stuff and all the car crashing into each other and running each other over and filling cars with concrete and buried alive matches. All that ladder matches, table matches stuff. That could be more Raw. SmackDown should focus elsewhere.
I just think with Lesnar, you've got like I say, back in the day, you had the World Heavyweight title, you had Taker, and you had Edge rise up and get it, and get the younger stars like Orton at the time. And whereas now you got the WWE title, which is like all the big people, and you got the Universal title, which is just not being used. It's just I'm not against him being in WWE, but I just feel like he should have matches now and again, and then fuck off and not be a title holder.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I can't see any argument against that, but I also think it's another thing that would legitimize SmackDown if they had because it's the wrestling title and the World Heavyweight title, the WWE, the big one. It's always in its own way because it's been going as long as it has. It's never going to be overtaken in prestige, but
No.
the Universal title would then kind of grow its own wings because it'd be a separate thing altogether. It'd be like a 3 month or 6 month only, 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Like it is defended now. I think they should do that. It does build it up. It does make it a big thing that it is its own, but then it keeps something so there is a heavyweight title on SmackDown defended as.
But it's just people like Braun, Seth, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, people like that. They're not getting the title they deserve because the person's not there to defend it. I get it, but I don't. But that's our thoughts on Brock.
Yeah, I get that. Like, it's Brock's a difficult one, isn't it? Because again, what do you replace him with? That's my thing. Like,
I just think he's overspent his time.
I was thinking something.
Create
Yeah,
some new
maybe
stars.
so.
He shouldn't be the main focus of something when he's there 4 times a year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. To be fair, like, but again, if they don't do that, how does that make the Universal title worth having, or anything different really than just a raw version of the SmackDown title?
That's what it should be. It's the biggest title. It's the biggest person on Raw. Or everyone should be fighting for that, but they're not getting a chance to.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get that.
Right,
yeah,
let's. Oh, sorry.
I think we've pretty much covered it with Brock there.
Yeah. Disagreements, but we agree on a fair bit as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So to cap this podcast off, our top 5 male wrestlers, then female, and then who we think's the best. Not necessarily our favourites, but start off with the top 5 men.
Yeah.
So in 5th place for me is Chris Jericho.
Okay. 5th place, Chris Jericho is good. That is good. I changed mine during the show, didn't I? I cheated.
Yeah.
Do you know who I've had to take out? And I really, really bitterly regret this, but can I mention my number 6, who almost
Go for 6, yeah.
It's Hurricane Helms, man. It's Sugar Shane.
That's the funniest thing.
I loved the Hurricane. It was great.
Hurricane was awesome. I loved
the superhero in the making.
I've never classed him as even a top 20.
He was so close because he's just an amazing sort of lucha athlete. He knows his stuff, and he's done a lot of work in TNA building up young guys like Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett and the X Division guys and stuff. He's been a good manager and stuff as well. He'd be number 6. He was nearly number 5, but then I thought number 5 is going to have to be Chris Jericho.
Yeah, so Chris Jericho.
And I feel bad about not putting him higher. I feel like the other ones I've done, some of them might be personal favourites, but Chris Jericho deserves a place in everybody's top 5, if not top higher than that. So it's, again, I'd have to agree with you there.
His
Jericho.
face work, his heel work, his debut in the WWE, all of it's been fantastic all the way through his career.
Yeah, I mean, everything he's ever done has been amazing, to be honest, hasn't it? So, yeah, who you got in at number 4?
Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. Yeah, he's fantastic.
I feel like we moved on too quickly there, though. We should have picked a favourite Jericho era each.
Favourite Jericho era? It's.
Do you think it might be the Kevin Owens thing? With
I'm thinking that as well.
And everything.
The list, man, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it was a great way to read it. Okay, we'll both go with that then. Yeah, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is number 4.
Good choice.
Incredible athlete, great wrestler over time.
Again, I could have anyone could really have Shawn Michaels in their top 5. I haven't got him. I do feel like maybe I should, but he hasn't. He just hasn't quite made it.
Favourite Michaels moment? I don't know. The Hart stuff was great, but all round career, his matches with Taker at Mania were fantastic. The Ric Flair match was incredible.
Yeah, if he's in anyone's top 5 or top 1, I couldn't even really argue. I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. I'd get that. That makes complete sense.
Who's your 4th?
My 4th, again, I've kind of juggled the order around a little bit here, but I'm going to have to say number 4, and I feel like he should be number 3, but just because of a couple of things, and I will explain that, why he isn't number 3. Number 4 is a bit of a wild card. It's S.A. Rios. It is S.A. Rios. He's just like, I've never seen a lucha wrestler like that. He was kind of the guy that I was like, okay, Jeff Hardy's great, Matt Hardy's great. The Hardy Boys in their peak were great. But S.A. Rios got them over so hard because he was a great heel and he was like just an incredible athlete. You used to just do such mental moves and crazy flips and to the outside and just amazing lucha shit that I'd never seen before, even from like the guys at the time, or from Rey Mysterio or anyone like that since, even anyone. I just watch more of him. I'm sure there's a top 50 of S.A. Rios.
I will check out more because I've never really cared for S.A. Rios.
Oh man, look at his top 50 and you'll see what I mean. Like honestly. So yeah, should we move to number 3?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't go to why he isn't 3, did I? Right. Just because he didn't, and it's not really his fault, but he didn't get the push he needed. Well, that whole Hardy's Lita thing happened, didn't it? But he should have gone further. I think he did win the light heavyweight and the hardcore.
He won the light heavyweight for sure.
Titles, but he should have had, maybe the European as well. Remember the European Championship? Yeah,
I love that title.
I'm like, Sunday Night Heat, that's what they need to bring back. Sunday Night Heat, man, that annoys me. I love Sunday Night Heat. Our show, perfect mix between big names like, The Rock and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah,
they used to be on Sunday Night Heat, and a 1 hour show, and the lower names were like, Perry Saturn and those kind of guys, Jerry Lynn, S.A. So it was just great. Sunday Night Heat needs to come back. Channel 4, man, do you remember that? There was an hour.
I remember watching the Invasion on Channel 4.
I loved Sunday Night Heat.
So my third is...
Your third, yeah.
The Undertaker.
Undertaker, yeah.
Legend of our time. Streak that shouldn't have been broken. And, yeah, incredible. Like one of the big characters, what I loved about back in the day, the characters of WWE, and that is The Undertaker was the biggest one.
Yeah, and had a housemate as well, JP. I remember you, man. He always said, this French dude, he loved The Undertaker. He was like his favourite character. I know a lot of people who will always kind of only ever love The Undertaker more than anyone. So yeah, I can see why he's in your top 5. He's not in mine, just because mine, I don't know, I think, yeah, like you say, it's a character thing, isn't it, with The Undertaker? Like, I think mine is less that. Other than maybe Jericho. Jericho is larger than life.
Right? Yes. I mean, he's like, I can't think of my favourite moment of him, to be honest. I mean, he's retired 20 against Kane was sick. And
man, what about the King of the Ring, 98, Mankind?
Oh, mate, of course, yeah, the cell match.
Cell, man.
Fucking crazy.
That's probably my favourite Undertaker moment.
It's definitely up there, but I'd still.
The chokeslam through the cage, man, and that throwing Mankind off the cell onto the announce table, like that hadn't been done back then. I mean, we see Shane do it every couple of years now.
Yeah, but then it was.
But also, Mankind's a lot bigger, and he would have fallen a lot harder.
Yeah.
So that's got to be taken into account. And he got up and climbed the cage and got chokeslammed through it again. I mean, fair play to him.
After having a tooth thrown through his fucking face.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nuts, wasn't he? Like.
Who's your third, bro?
Number 3, and again, he should be number 2. And it's a really tough one between 3 and 2 for me. But number 3, I'm gonna have to say, it's AJ Styles.
Yeah, sick. He's not on mine, but he's great.
He's just phenomenal. He is the best right now. There is no question about it, and has been for a number of years now. And it's just nice to see him finally get there, at the top of the mountain, because he was doing it in TNA, beating himself up for no money for however many years.
Yeah.
And doing some stellar matches with Samoa Joe and whoever else was in it. And, Eric Young, what's his name? And then he said Anderson, Christopher Daniels, all those lot. So, yeah, AJ, the only reason he isn't number 2 is because they're sort of, well, I've got number 1, and then number 2 and 3 are both level, but the only reason he's number 3 is because of his sort of, he might even be better in the ring, to be honest, but it's just his sort of, the character. It's not his fault, but I guess TNA don't give you the kind of character training that you could see how he quickly got good on the mic. He was famously bad on the mic in the TNA days.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it was Rumble 16, he came in. He was still bad on the mic there, but he quickly got good. And you know that's the WWE Performance Center have compartmentalized training
Absolutely,
at the
yeah.
moment, so they do that all separately, and that's benefited him massively. To be fair, so it's just good to see him enjoying this bit of his career where he is. He deserves it, and he's still got a few years to go.
For sure.
I feel like he
wants like a bit more of a part-time schedule now, I've heard, but
yeah,
that's fine at your age, man. Provided enough. What's your favourite Styles moment in anything?
It's a couple, man. I'm gonna say moment, and it would, if I'm talking matches, it would all probably be in TNA, almost all of it. But moment is actually when he turned up at the Rumble,
Really?
2016. Yeah,
It was a
because
big
that was
pop.
like, this is it. This is like, oh my god, I've actually seen it, and we knew from there it was like, is WWE gonna book him into oblivion like they do with a lot of people? Please don't do that.
No.
This is AJ Styles, but there's a reason he was there in the Rumble, and he's smashed. And
Yeah.
he's won the title in his first year, and it kind of had to happen.
Damn
Because we all
right.
sort of thought he was Mr. TNA for years.
Mm-hmm.
He was the
Never
one
thought he'd
guy
come
that
along.
no one thought would go. And it's just good to see him making loads of money. I feel like he's earned it, he deserves it.
Sick.
So what did we get to? How many in the list?
So I'm on my second now. Number 2 is the self-proclaimed best in the world, CM Punk.
You mean Shane O'Mac? He is the best in the world. How isn't Shane O'Mac on my list?
Because he's great, but there are many better. But yeah, CM Punk, he was a fantastic face, but he was a fucking incredible heel. And his work with Jericho, Lesnar, Undertaker, Rock, all great stuff. Cena, of course.
Yeah, man.
CM Punk's fantastic.
Yeah, I see him. I get it, but I still think Shane should be in my list. I feel like I need him as another honourable mention now, along with Hurricane. Because think of the things he's jumped off, man.
Yeah.
Like even in recent years, and he's just jumped off these things so many times. It's like some people have done it once or twice.
He's done it.
Jeff Hardy's jumped off some silly stuff in TNA and WWE all the time. So has Mankind, but it's always been like the odd one or two things. Whereas Shane is.
No one's fell from a Titantron like Shane has.
No, exactly. Like at the big show Backlash 2001, I think, wasn't it? Something like that.
King of the Ring match as well with Angle was brutal as fuck.
Oh, with the glass, the actual real glass. Yeah, and the Steve Blackman one, which I think was a SummerSlam before the Backlash.
Yeah.
Where he was whacking him with a stick and he fell off the Titantron. Not quite as high as when he jumped off it on Big Show.
Yeah.
But then since that, he's even come back in recent years and twice done it again. And he with the Hell in the Cell, he's done it. Kevin Owens and Undertaker, and possibly some other silly shit that I'm forgetting. Like he does Coast to Coast and Shooting Star Press fairly regularly still now, doesn't he? Even to this day. So
I think with CM Punk, favourite moment for him is actually what I think is the best heel moment of all time, and that was the Raw, the death of Paul Bearer, when Undertaker's doing his little stance in the ring, paying respect to Paul Bearer, and then CM Punk cuts him off during that.
okay, Rory's calling me.
Oh,
how
right.
you doing, Rory? I'm live. Are you watching?
Just can tell it's his first time.
Are you watching me on the Deciphered podcast, mate? You should.
Legitimately happening.
Oh, he's teaching. Why are you on the phone in a driving lesson? Oh, I'm on loudspeaker. Right, I'll get it. Yeah, I'm going to have to call you back. Unless you want to answer the question. What was the question? Oh, no, we're on list now. I'll see you later.
Thanks, mate.
Sorry.
That's all right. So, yeah, best heel moment of CM Punk of all time was him cutting off Undertaker during the Paul Bearer thing. When that happened, that was intense.
The best CM Punk moment of all time?
Yeah. It's got to be when he cuts off Undertaker with Paul Bearer.
It's the pipe bomb, though, isn't it, in a way?
I mean, I love that. It was great, but...
I'm just sitting there and slugging on Vince with the mic on
it's mad. It's so good.
Saying real stuff as well. Like, that's not scripted because there's no way
they wouldn't script it. They cut the mic and that was a real cut. But it made him
a star. He did say a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. Like, saying his company or whatever will be better off when Vince is dead. You can't say that.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's
And
bad. That's causing that, especially when Vince has done what he has for the business, and he's old. You shouldn't say that. I mean, he's going to feel really bad about that because I mean, Vince is what 74, 75.
something like that now, yeah.
So he's not got that long left. So I mean, I'm sure he's got longer than most people at that age because he's a billionaire. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's going to help, isn't it? But yeah, that's just a bit much for Punk to say that. That kind of goes against his legacy in the way that Edge will never be one of my heroes because Matt Hardy is the man.
Matt Hardy is the man.
Like, I liked Edge, I liked Christian, but the Hardys, man, the Hardys.
While I agree with, like, it was harsh to say that Vince would die and all that shit, but you could tell, like, that was for the cameras as well. But the thing with Undertaker, with Paul Bearer just dying, Undertaker doing his respects, and then looking at the Titan drum with Paul Bearer on there, and then just cuts to the that was pinnacle. It was a disgusting move. I hated it so much that I loved it.
I feel like that's how people feel about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it? Like,
who's your number two?
Number two. Oh, where's my list come? Number two, I'm gonna just go out and say it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
It's Seth Rollins. It's got to be Seth. Could even be number one just because I love everything he does in the ring, but also his whole character and the whole human chess thing and the architect. And I feel like, yeah, that me and Nate, I think, were talking the other day about J&J Security. That was because I'm sure there was some cars smashing then, weren't there? Lesnar with a baseball bat and
yeah, that was around that time.
Yeah. Bring back J&J Security.
I mean, I don't care for them enough, but yeah,
it was good. But then I guess it only sort of works when Seth is playing the heel, and he's very good as a face. Like
he is. What's your favourite moment of him?
It's obviously the Mania.
It's got to be.
There's nothing
so good.
else. There's nothing else I've seen this decade in wrestling that was that good, and I don't believe there will be until. Well, I don't know if there ever will be. Like that was great.
It was brilliant.
That was so good. The cash in, the Roman Reigns and the Lesnar and the whole thing, it was just amazing.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Michael Cole with the whole heist of the century line.
What the fuck has got into you two, literally? Like, how can you not just sit? This is a mess of a podcast in the last 5 minutes, honestly. We've got a fucking phone being answered and you two fucking...
Yeah, no, I was hoping he was going to say...
Thanks, Ree, by the way, for being so polite and calm. No. Obviously, the sound of us is that hilarious.
Yeah.
Right, cool. So, yeah, we agree on the top moment for Seth Rollins easily.
Yeah,
so,
there's not anything that can really compare to that, is there? Like,
no. Now we both know our top one, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, we both had to agree on this, and that's where I feel like, AJ and Seth, I should really be progressive and say no. Let's look at the new gen and the current everything, but Jeff Hardy.
So many nostalgic history though. Hardy Boys together, them fighting each other.
The deletion stuff as well, man. The final deletion and all the madness with that, and the drones and the lawnmowers and stuff. I loved all that so much. That was probably my favourite bit of his whole career.
For Matt's, yes, but not for Jeff's.
Oh, for Matt's, definitely the best thing he's ever done. Like,
yeah,
the Brother Nero thing and all that. Like, that was just incredible TV. Like, and TNA as well. Like, what a game changer. I love it. I'm very pro deletion.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Massively pro deletion. I know a lot of people hate it and they didn't get it, but I think a lot of those people watched it a bit more and were like, oh, actually, I think I do get it. It's meant to be this ridiculous, isn't it? And it truly was. It was risky at that stage in his career, but it was like last roll of the dice. What can they do at TNA? Pumping money into the sea.
Yeah.
With Billy Corgan and whoever else, Panda Energy.
There's a lot of change around that time.
Massive track record of not, bunch of owners all just hemorrhaging money into it.
Yeah, it took the world by storm, that deletion stuff though.
Yeah, it did. It was great. It was really, really polarizing though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like if WWE are willing to pick up on something for Impact, you know it's big. What's your favourite Hardy moment before we move on to the women?
Oh, favourite Jeff Hardy. I'm going to say, and it's actually, can I say that? I was going to pick a TNA one.
Of course you can.
But there's been so many. Is it maybe the Swanton off the Titantron through the table? I think you remember that one.
Yeah. It wasn't
That's
Titan.
probably
Was it further up on stage, wasn't it, against the Dudleys at No Mercy, I think.
that sounds right, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, my favourite moment is actually a match, and it's my favourite match of all time, and that's Hardy Taker in the ladder match on Raw for the Undisputed title.
I think I'm
That
gonna
match
say
is fucking sick.
it's the final deletion.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
WWE.
No, the TNA one.
TNA one.
The whole backyard lawnmowers and
Yeah.
drones and just the silliness.
Oh,
of it.
them versus each other.
Yeah. Oh, the Swanton out of a tree at the end. Like there was flamethrowers and stuff, weren't there? Like those fireworks. That was it. Matt was like launching fireworks at him on the lawn and that. Really actually launching fireworks. It was like,
At his own fucking brother's face.
So brilliant. Yeah, I was going to pick another TNA one actually, which was, did you ever see the Hardys versus the Dudleys versus the Wolves in TNA?
No.
This was great feud. This was just on TNA TV as well, I think most. It wasn't even pay per view. It was just on Impact.
Right.
And obviously smaller arenas, lower ladders and stuff than WWE. But it was just they were obviously just trying to capitalise on the fact that they had the Dudleys and the Hardys signed to TNA at the time. So they're like trying to recreate the whole triad thing with Edge and Christian, obviously, with the Wolves being them basically. So they kind of get the Wolves up and it worked because the Wolves I think did win the whole thing, and it was just so much. It was an obvious homage to the Dudleys, Hardys, Edge and Christian era because it was just purely based around tables, ladders, chairs, but there were some great matches, man. There was some shit you see in that not ever even seen in WWE. Like some big bumps. I think there was one really nice one where Eddie Edwards or Davey Richards, one of the Wolves gets thrown over the ring into the cheek barriers, like the one they used to have.
The metal ones.
The metal ones they used to have. So there's one of those stacked up, and he like just gets thrown out the ring, and his back just lands face on that, and it bends, and it's just like, oh man, that stuff. And it was actually when Jeff did, I think he jumped off the ladder in the ring onto that.
Right.
Or something ridiculous.
Painful.
It was just, a series of matches that were all mental. I'm pretty sure the Wolves won, but yeah, it was. I'm going to go with final deletion.
Sweet. Cool. On to the women. I'll power through this a bit quicker as we hit the hour and a half mark.
Haven't we? Wow.
So, I know we've got some of the same here, but in different positions. So if, for example, I say one first and you have them later on the list, we'll talk about them when we get to the higher point.
Yeah,
so
we've literally got a couple of those in this, haven't we?
I
guess it's harder though because there's a lower
amount.
A pool of women's wrestling's only got really massive in recent years.
Yeah.
So there's
So my fifth is Becky Lynch, but we'll hold that till later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Your fifth?
My fifth is Lita.
We'll talk about that later. That's so funny.
That is, I've just noticed that. That is, okay.
Fourth for me is Sasha Banks.
Interestingly, fourth. And again, it's close between her and three, but Sasha Banks is fourth for me.
So Sasha's been shut all over, in my opinion. She was great in NXT. She was the woman that got me back into women's wrestling, watching NXT.
She's been great on the main roster.
She started off great. Then she had 3 reigns with the women's title, 2 of them for one day and 1 of them for 1 week, I think.
That's not her fault.
It's not her fault, but since that, she's been not as great, not anywhere near.
Yeah.
At that point, she was my favourite out of all the men and women.
I get that. No, I can see why. That's fair.
Favourite moment for Sasha Banks, I guess maybe last night for the women's tag titles, or the fatal 4-way match between the 4 horsewomen in NXT. That match was pinnacle. Do you have a favourite?
There's a lot.
You got a favourite moment, or it's tough because she has had quite a lot, but again she had a lot of iffy moments as well.
Yeah, I think it was the first title win, not the Divas, the actual women's, I think.
I mean, that was amazing because I watched that live at like stupid o'clock in the morning, but it was such a good moment. We got shined over because she lost the next day or a week later or whatever.
Yeah, that. I suppose I didn't pick one for Lita either. Let's move on. As you said, we haven't got that long, have we?
Cool. So my third is AJ Lee.
AJ Lee.
Wasn't sure if she'd make it in actually, but she was last minute thought. But what she did for the women's revolution, all that, she was really good. Her attitude was really good, and her in-ring presence was fun as well.
Good choice. I can't really say I've got a very good excuse for not having her in my list.
Yeah.
I feel like she should be, but again, there's, you know, look at these lists. Like we've already been talking about, like, you know, Lita and Sasha Banks. That I don't know if, well, for very different reasons, obviously, but I don't know if I could justify placing her above either of those.
Right.
Just because Lita's obviously such a legend as much as anything else, but Sasha is more an in-ring innovator, I would say. Like I'd say, is probably more inspiring to, you know, the younger tech Matt women's wrestling generation.
Oh, maybe
Lita's more like a high flyer, would you? Yeah, she wasn't just that; she could wrestle.
Yeah.
But Sasha's more of a technician, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree on that compared to Lita.
Who's
your third?
Number 3. Again, I feel really bad for not putting her higher, but it's Paige.
Yeah, she didn't make mine.
I love Paige. I always love
She's great.
Paige. She didn't make yours.
No, she had a lot of shit, Paige, but she was really good in the ring.
Paige, yeah, she didn't get long enough either because obviously she had neck injuries and whatever else. But she's got to be in my top 5. She's an English goth chick that was badass.
Yeah.
Her run she wasn't short. Like she was in it a few years at the top, wasn't she? But
Yeah.
yeah, you know that she still had to retire tragically young. When you think about where those around her at the time are going to go on to, and are still going on to now.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I hope she can come back one day, but at the same time, it's one of those.
I think it's an edge situation
it's
now.
A neck thing, and yeah, I think it's an edge thing, and as in you could be paralysed if you wrestle again.
Yeah, not worth the risk. I hope she comes back to TV soon, but she's got a film out that looks good.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is Trish Stratus. She was originally further down the list, but I didn't know where. But her rivalry with Lita was fucking fantastic. She was one of the top women of my childhood, and yeah, bang on. Promos were sick with The Rock and Vince McMahon and stuff like that, along with against Lita, all the way back to TNA really. Or try testing out, but
I feel bad again for not having Trish in mind.
Yeah.
She is such a pioneer, isn't she? That I really should have her in there, and I'm sure she was in there, but then I think she just got pushed out by Lita because Lita was more of a greedy boy.
Yeah, exactly that.
And hotter. I don't know, like.
Well, I love the hype line. That's what got me in.
Yeah, to be fair, she probably was, but Trish was. Let's not.
Met Lita, and she's still. No, she was still hot. Yeah. Who's your
number 2 is Gail Kim.
Gail Kim, yes.
And again, she could be my number 1. TNA stuff again mainly, but Gail Kim was never given enough credit or or push in WWE. She was in TNA, and
she was the woman of TNA.
She was TNA face of it for so long, and others would come and go, and she just had match after match on a weekly basis on Impact for years. That was always good with her, whoever she was. And a lot of those guys, you know, Madison Rain, who either like Taryn, Tiffany, whatever she was called in the E, they all elevated. You'd see those guys work with her, or Rebel again would work with her and get really good. She's just elevated so many women that are now in the WWE and stuff and I don't really feel like she got a fair deal herself. So I know it's a bit of a wild card when we talk about success and stuff. You're looking at Trish and Lita as the obvious top 2, but I guess that isn't really the only parameter in this, is it? It's like favourites and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to say Gail Kim. Again, in-ring product. I think as a women's wrestler, I don't know if there's anyone better as a technician than Gail Kim.
No, I definitely
think you'd be.
I wouldn't argue it really.
To find someone actually better in the ring than her on a consistent level. Again, because less people notice her because she was in TNA for so long. But she is just that. I had to put her number 2. Who's your number 1?
So my number 1 is your number 5, and that's Lita. It's so fucking incredible. Loved her to bits.
Yeah, I feel like Lita could be number 1 in mine. But I feel like any of my top 5 could also be number 1.
Leah is a distance apart from the other four. Like she's by far the top one. I've loved her since. Like, don't get me wrong, she's an absolute cunt for what she did to Matt Hardy, and I'm still not forgiving her. Right.
No one ever will. No, me neither. Don't worry about it.
But her in-ring style is so fucking fantastic. I love her. She's great. Met her, really nice.
Yep,
Still
and
hot.
your number 5 is my number 1, Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yeah.
I just can't.
Lynch, I love
say
her.
anything
She's the
else right
best
now.
thing in wrestling right now. However, it's such a short amount of time that, like, so I'll give you some context. Before this happened, the four horsewomen: Banks, Charlotte, Bailey, and Lynch. Bailey I actively dislike. Banks and Charlotte I love, but Lynch was always the one I just didn't care about. She was just kind of her, and only in the last year has she got to the heights now. I adore her. She's the best out of the four. But that's why she's only at fifth now, because it's only a short amount of time. Give it another 5 years of like this, she could be up there.
She is stone cold Becky Lynch. That's what a lot of people are saying at the
Yeah.
minute, and I completely agree. I think it's a great thing for the women's team to have her come up as the. So obviously, there's always going to be that old conversation about how Charlotte is just there because she's Charlotte Flair.
I disagree with that. She's earned
No,
her way.
no, I think she has earned a place, and I'm not one of the people that said that, but I know people will always see it that way, in the way that they see Shane McMahon back in the day, and he kind of, I feel like he had to push himself extra hard, jump off silly things to prove himself against the tide as well, because he was clearly smaller and less trained and skilled than a lot of the actual professional wrestlers, but he was more daring than most of them. I feel that way in this same regard, really, but that's like. It's a good thing with that triad. Becky Lynch is the first sort of organic product of their own, maybe not of their own completely, but you know what I mean. Like Ronda was obviously famous, a household name before she even walked in the door.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, and I'm not saying she isn't great because she is, but whether or not she was always going to do at least reasonably well when your dad is Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Like she couldn't not, if she did get into wrestling, she was going to be at the very top of the game when she is. It's just even her finishes named it, in it like natural selection. She makes all these genetically superior kind of references. So yeah, I think it's good to have her and Ronda, and Becky Lynch is kind of that wild card X factor, which makes her an underdog in a sense. Like surely a lot of people who don't know MS in that world will be saying surely Ronda's got to win that, and I still think Ronda probably will. Like, I don't know. I'd love to see Becky win.
She's got to win. It's got to happen, mate. It's her time. She's having her Brian moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is Ronda going to agree to that? Well, she wants to go
Apparently
on
she's gone.
family anyway.
Yeah, shorter schedule next year.
Do you think they'll just have to pay Ronda more to lose?
No, I don't think
Is
they're
that
the
surely
same.
how it works?
She knows how wrestling works.
Yeah, but surely. I don't know. I don't know. I guess not. There can't be any real clause like that, can there? I just thought maybe because she's like the Brock Lesnar of the female world sort of thing.
Yeah. I feel like she's got more respect for the business than Brock, though.
I don't think Brock has as little respect for the business as he lets on.
I think he doesn't care about wrestling at all.
I think he doesn't, but only in the sense that he doesn't care about anything. Like, do you know what I mean? I think he's still happy enough to make a lot of money, standing there jumping while Paul Heyman talks him. That's like, imagine if that was getting up and going to work. Like, okay, it's not just that. He's obviously got to keep himself in
check and all that.
and
yeah.
He does for the most part anyway, doesn't he? Like, there's been times when he's had a bit of a belly or whatever, but most of the time, at least, he's always looked like a monster.
He's still a beast. No,
he's always going to be a beast, even at his worst. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything to replace him. I just don't. They will be. It will cause a problem from when he goes. I think
it'll be easily fixable. If Reigns can go, if Cena can go, he can go easier than them.
If Lashley were booked properly, he could be up there.
Get over Lashley.
No, I'm not get over Lashley. The Destroyer, walking Armageddon. That's when to his credit, Josh Matthews actually was really good at building.
He's
up
blocked
Lashley
me on Twitter.
Has he?
Yeah.
What for? What did he do?
I think he said he was the best commentator of all time. I was like, you're an asshole, and that was it.
Blocked you for that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine with me. He's no JR. Right, finish
He's
it.
not, but I like Josh Matthews. He's alright.
Finishing it off. So we've gone through our favourites. Who do you think is the actual best wrestler of all time? I'll stick mine out with HBK Shawn Michaels because of his career and compelling stuff.
Best wrestler of all time. It's going to sound silly because I put him at number 3. I'm going to say AJ Styles.
Fair. He's
It's
definitely
only
up
because
there.
Seth has a lot to do with character work, is why he's my number 2, and Jeff is just an absolute legend in every aspect of the business. Entertainer, performer,
Yeah.
legend, hero, stuntman, everything else, and cool Grebo that sits and paints and plays guitar and stuff. So he gets points for that too. But AJ, if we're talking strictly in-ring best in the world, AJ Styles, I'd say is unmatched. I'd say the only person that could even come close maybe is Shawn Michaels, and I think AJ's better. It might be pretty marginal, but AJ's just got moves, man. Isn't he? Like AJ's just got an incredible moveset, like so much of which he made himself, like just stuff like the Pele kick and the Styles Clash and all this. I mean, I don't know if someone's probably done those things before, but to put that moveset in the calf crusher and all this, we're not allowed to call it that now anymore, eh? Is it the calf killer?
Maybe.
Wait, no, it's the calf crusher. Sorry, not allowed to call it the calf killer.
Right, okay.
Or
not to TV14.
The calf crusher, I think they call it instead.
I'm pretty sure they call it the crusher, yeah.
Yeah, it was the calf killer.
Right, fair.
Which works because it was obviously more brutal because it's like, killing a baby cow but they don't like the word killer or anything like that, do they? So I was annoyed when they banned the curb stamp as well as the Styles Clash.
But yeah, now they're both back now.
To be fair, I think 2 or 3 people had broken their neck on the Styles Clash.
Yeah, so almost James Ellsworth in the way he pulled his head in rather than out.
Yeah, it's not a sensible move to be doing, but few things are.
So Sean thinks Mick Foley's the best. I'm going to quickly finish these questions off before we leave you. So Karen's back another one, a bit political. Should women get paid the same as men? I feel like it's not about gender. I feel like the biggest stars should get paid the same as each other. I don't feel like Mandy Rose should get paid the same as John Cena because she doesn't pull tickets. Depends how many tickets you bring in. I feel like Becky Lynch should be one of the highest paid right now. Charlotte Flair should be one of the highest paid, along with some of the men.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see this now. They're all very good points. Women should get paid the same as men. Yeah, I think in certain situations they do now. Like for example, when they got this Saudi Arabia thing, and obviously they're not allowed to perform, they still get paid for loss of business. So they still get paid like astronomical amounts of money. Like
I'm glad.
But I think they get like 50 million or 100 million a show or something stupid like that for that, didn't they? Or
I'm not sure.
It might even be like £1 billion a show or some insane amount of money. But then there's of course the argument that they're providing Saudis with state propaganda, isn't there? That's a bit of a conscious crisis for them.
Sean's pointing out that a year or two ago we had an argument because I said Lynch was shit and Banks all the way. Yeah, Banks was amazing. Has gone down a bit. Lynch was a bit boring and now it's amazing. Things change.
Yeah. I would have said, I don't know, she's never been bad. She's always been as good in the ring as, at their peak. Paige, Sasha, anyone around that time that was coming up. But Lynch has just turned into the ultimate badass, hasn't she? Like, character-wise and performance-wise, she's just amazing.
Finally, he says, did AJ get thrown off the Hell in a Cell? I don't remember AJ being in a Hell in a Cell.
AJ? Did he?
I don't think he was even in the Hell in a Cell. I think he's had a Hell in a Cell match. I'll Google it.
Maybe Cage? Does it mean Cage? AJ Hell in a Cell. I hope this isn't something that's happened and I've missed this, because how could I not know this? Surely I would know that.
Surely not.
Hell in a Cell 2018?
Oh no, that's just against the It wasn't in a Hell in a Cell match.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, has he even had a cage or anything like that? I'd quite like to see that, a match with AJ Styles in the cage or something like that, one of those.
What about 2017? AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. No, I'm pretty sure that was not in the match either. No sense made.
Well,
we were talking about greater wrestlers.
Yeah.
Surely you confused me. But it doesn't matter anyway, because questions have finished.
Oh.
Suck a dick. Right, cool. So that caps it off.
Yeah.
There you go. AJ Styles and HBK, which would be a fucking dream match as well. So thank you very, very much for joining us, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been loads of fun.
This Descythered-Mania may happen again. down the line. We never know. But for next week, hopefully, assuming Rob is better, or hopefully he's better, we will be back to the music, the sweet chin music.
Yeah, I want to come and do a music one as well.
We will do,
have
yeah,
to do a
for that.
music one definitely. Yeah, what top 5 bands or something like that.
Yep, we'll have.
Yeah.
We've got I've got a topic in here for you. Anyway, join us on all these things here that you see in front of us.
These things.
And see you 8 p.m. We've got a reaction video on Friday. We've got a written review by Liam on Wednesday. And we will see you next. We'll see you Monday next week. Good day.
Descythered-Mania!